the purpose of those who are not with us today. My name is Aurelia Monene. I'm from AIDA Africa, an organization which is committed to working with upcoming researchers in Africa to grow their research skills, to build communities that support each other so that we can really build our capacities in research, complete our master's, our PhD, our postdoc with better ease. So today we are having a session on, the broad session is qualitative data management. Then we will zero in on NVivo. And this is a session that we usually provide for people who are working on qualitative data and they would like to have an idea of a software. Of course, there are many softwares out there, and NVivo is not the only one, but it's one of the common ones, although it's also quite expensive. It's not easily accessible to many people, but we thought it's been one of the courses we've been providing for a while. So once we offer this training, then those who would like to take a longer course, they can enroll for a paid program and they can do that. But our trainer today, Vincent, is going to expose us to other tools that are cheaper, that you can use also to analyze your qualitative data if you cannot afford NVivo, or maybe your institution is not able to support the students with NVivo. So welcome. It's a participatory session, so feel free to interact. Our norms are make sure we keep respect of each other, and this is a harassment-free zone, and feel free to either ask your question on chat or you can unmute your question. So without a lot of talking, let me welcome Vincent. He's in an area which is raining profusely, so his internet may be in and out, but we hope for the best. So Vincent, welcome to the session, and take it on.
Thank you so much, Valeria, for the introduction. And it's a very big delight that you are hosting all of us for this session. It's a very big delight that we are going to be able to share knowledge on what we know and what we need so that we are able to have a comprehensive, a holistic approach to data analysis that involves. Yes, Kulan.
Muted, please. Let's stay muted, please.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so at AIDA Africa, we are current with what's happening in the research world nowadays, where we talk about mixed method research. We are aware that quite a number of people are well versed with quantitative data analysis, and it is for that reason that we want to equip as many people as possible on this new area that is gaining a lot of momentum, which we refer to qualitative research. In this session, we will be able to have a discussion and build a common understanding on what qualitative research entails. And we will be able, together, we'll be able to grow in knowledge on on the basics of carrying out a qualitative research and qualitative research analysis.
Vincent, we lost you there a bit. Okay, Vincent might have been dropped out a bit. Let me just get hold of him. As I told you, he's in a place which is quite rainy. But in the meantime, as he's coming in, let us see on chat which softwares have you used to analyze qualitative data, or how do you analyze qualitative data? For those who don't use software, what approaches do you use? Let's see on chat so that even as we are speaking, we can know where most of the expertise is. Yes, we are recording. I know yes, Maggie, we are recording because I know the network is bad today, now that it's heavily raining. Vincent is back. So, okay. Okay, you can record locally. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, so Vincent, welcome back. You can hear us? Okay, thank you. People, okay. So you can record a meeting locally. I didn't know. What does that mean? I don't know. But yes, Eda has used Max UDA. Thank you, Atlas DI. I used Deduce. Great. Good. Vincent, I'm just holding fort for you. If you're ready, please just start. Yes, yes. I have Deduce. Even me, I want to learn Deduce. I have PhD. Vincent, you're with us? Today, I just call for a little patience and grace as we get older. I'd like to give a state. If you were in Nigeria, Vincent, are you hearing us now? Vincent, can you hear us? Okay, people, please be a bit patient. Let me just see. Please be putting on chat what and also questions you have for this session. Questions you have about this session, and also which software have you used to analyze your qualitative data? For me, actually, I don't use a software, but I'm starting to use software now. I've been using thematic analysis. That's how I was trained. So I wasn't trained with the software, but because sometimes the work is so huge, I'm also moving a bit into using a bit of software. Vincent, our facilitator, can you hear me? I can see you're online. Perhaps it's your internet. My goodness. Let me just see what's happening. Someone is asking how the recording will be shared. We have our club. Let me just share. Yes, there's no sound because we are using our facility who's been kicked out. As I mentioned, he is in Nairobi is raining heavily right now, and he might be in an area which is really raining. And as you know, in this our part of the world, when it rains, I don't know what happens to the internet and electricity. So let me share the link to our club, our channel club. We are in a club of different researchers. That's where we usually share our recordings. But also for those from CC Africa, from those from other aid, we also share the recording there, even on YouTube. So here is a link to join the club where you can find more resources. I think the worst case scenario for today, if I'm not able to connect with the facilitator and it's completely off, what we can do, we can have him record a session, which we usually put on YouTube, and have people listening to that, and then we can see if he's able to manage a live session, which we can have some time. So he can do a pre-recorded Zoom, which we put on YouTube, and you can listen to it. If I'm not able to get hold of him by 7:30. So right now it's 3 minutes to 7:30. Let me see how far I can get with connecting with him. If not, I'm really sorry, you might have to bear with us that we might have to pre-record this because we wanted to look at the overview of different qualitative data softwares and then look at NVivo specifically. So it was quite a very interesting session for all of us, but we've been let down by this. So let's see how we do by 7:30. If we can't get him, I think that's how we will go. And I really apologize for that. So give me a minute. I think, my good people, we might have to go with a pre-recorded session because he's told me they have no power. So there's no way he'll come up. So I'm really sorry. So what we can do, please share your questions here so that as he's doing the pre-recorded session, he can be able to weave in that into his presentation. So any question you've been having, and just don't look at from the beginning of this, from analysis from the software, just even how you manage qualitative data. Remember, qualitative data management starts from the time you're designing the study. That's when the management begins. The management doesn't begin after data collection, because the design is when you're thinking about your study population. It's when you're thinking about what software do you have access to. If you cannot afford NVivo, do not say you're going to use NVivo, because the time you come to analyze, you will not be able to access it. So feel free to write your questions here from the design all the way to analysis so that you can weave that in. Yeah. So if it is questions on how do you make sure that you have a good data management plan for qualitative data, I think that is one thing people underestimate, that qualitative data is quite heavy. So how do you actually manage all that data? Because you have transcripts, you have audio data, so you have written data, you have audio data, you have translations. If you did not use, maybe used your mother tongue or another language, so those are translated scripts. How do you code them? How do you manage them so that they do not overwhelm you and do not lose data? Some of you maybe are struggling with how do you take notes? And I always say for qualitative data, if you're a student, I'd rather you really be, rather than having an approach where you're having people collect for you and you're seated at the back waiting. I think for qualitative data, you have to really be involved in that data collection. Otherwise, what happens? People may collect for you data. When it comes to you, you will not understand it. Remember, qualitative data is not like quantitative, which is just people filling in closed-ended questions. So you have to really be hands-on in your qualitative data. This is not the one you send people to the field and then you just tell them to bring. You really have to get the feel of that tool and how people are responding, because the data you collect is as good as the people who collected it. And for qualitative data, you have to really train those enumerators. I always say that sometimes if you take people to collect for you qualitative data and they are not familiar with the subject matter, for instance, you want to collect data on sexual reproductive health, and you go and pick people who have no background in sexual reproductive health, you're going to have very lean data. Because qualitative data you can collect thick data or thin data. And so if people don't have a background in your subject matter, they will not know how to probe. They will not even know the sensitivities of that particular research. So even how do you train people who will help you to collect this data is also part of qualitative data management. So those are some of the questions. Keep them coming. And then I will ask Vincent to do the pre-recorded session so that he can weave in your question. I've seen some of you have already sent the question. I would like to hear about managing multiple coders on analysis platform and testing effectiveness of coding. Great. So I will pull that out and share it with Vincent so that he can be able to answer this once he has good connection in the recording. Any other question, please put it down. We have, let me just give 5 more minutes for questions, and then we can close the session for today. Anyone who also has an input, let me not be the only one talking here. If you have some insights about qualitative data, please also, you can say something as we collect the question. Okay, Nafis, I think I am new to qualitative data. I've not used it before. I wanted to know the basic information and which tool to use for an analysis, including NVivo. Great. So Vincent is going to give an overview of that in his presentation. And I'll ask him also to give a pro and con of each tool so that you can know, because access is very important for these tools. No matter how good you are in using them, if you cannot access them, then there's no point of having that particular tool. So I'll tell him to share that pro and con of each. Access to NVivo software at an affordable price. This has been a challenge. We've been trying to reach out to NVivo to see if they can give us a good price, but they only give to institutions like universities. So it's been very difficult. Oh, Vincent, you're here. We have said that because the session, we couldn't reach you, we will have a pre-recorded session because now team has also gone, and then we are just collecting questions so that you can weave them in a pre-recorded session. Yes. So Vincent says, no, we use the free 14-day trial version. That's the one we've been able to use. Then after 14 days, you have to open with another email. Yeah, so you also have to see if this is the tool for you, which you have to keep doing that all the time. Vincent, you want to say anything? Are you able to say anything as we close the session and look forward to a pre-recorded Zoom session, which we are going to put on YouTube? Okay, I still think he's having challenges. Yes, I've gotten your email. Please register to join the club so that you can be having all these. Is version 2022 available on trial? I've not heard of version 2022. I know it's up to 14 for now. Yeah, Marion. But let me just put that. So what I would say for these softwares, and that's why I always tell people, if you want to learn a software, also don't learn it. Okay, it's good to have the basic.
Yes. I mean, these are good. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
You can hear. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So normally, why probably NVivo provides us with the 14 days trial version, which, as you have clearly said, which you can switch. You can still get access to it even after the 14 days are done by just having another email to use, and you are able to still access another 14 days. And normally analyzing qualitative data can be done within the 14 days window that we have. So it's normally adequate, but unless someone wants to do on a routine basis, analysis on a routine basis, then probably now there it might require someone to buy. And there is a subsidized license, but this one is only accessible through a learning institution. Yeah. And someone is asking on version 22. Right now, we are on version 14. Yeah, so the ones available is version 14. But I think of recently, around 2 months ago, one was able to still access version 12. But we recommend that version 2023 or version 14 is currently the latest, and it's always good to go with the latest. Yeah. I see you have, unless there is a question which you haven't addressed.
Not yet. Yeah, I think those are the questions. They are those I have picked. So Vincent, because of what has, we understand the internet. So the discussion was, you can do a pre-recorded Zoom session with very good internet, and then we can have it on YouTube. and then members can listen in and have an opportunity to ask questions. Is that okay for you?
I really normally prefer we have a live session like this. I think the issue of internet, I think it's all about the rains today, but I think it's something which is now sorted.
Are you
So
sorted?
yes, yes.
Okay, so let me hear
Yeah.
from the members. Do you
Mm.
feel we continue? I know the timing. What let me see on chat what members are saying.
And I promise to be very brief in this first session. So if guys, you can allow us the next 20 minutes, I think we will be able to have a very good discussion as we prepare for further learning. So sorry for the mishap.
Let me see on chat. Let's have a consensus. If you have to go, you can go because we will still record. If you can stay, please stay. Vincent prefers to have an audience for discussion. So maybe yeah. I don't see any comments. Maybe okay. Let's just continue, Vincent, since we are recording. Although the recording, we'll see how to edit it. This parts we've been talking. But please go ahead now. I hope yeah, all will be well.
Yeah. So well, what I think what is being suggested is a good thing. It's something I can also consider that in our maybe other trainings, I think what we have always done in the past is very practical. We are practical oriented, and we make sure everybody is able to actually participate rather than going through a lecture method. I think there are quite a number of videos available if one needed to, but I think we prefer this live because we are able to like hold your hand through as you navigate through the journey on qualitative analysis. Yeah, so allow me to present my screen.
Yeah, you're a co-host.
I believe you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Good. Yeah, so so basically this first session is an overview of qualitative research. I know you responded to my question which I had asked earlier on what are the key differences between qualitative and quantitative research. So I would not want to go back there. So allow me to just build that we are able to build ourselves on this, that in this session, it is important that we are able to define qualitative research. And I want to believe we will all agree that we can define qualitative research by looking at the differences of qualitative with quantitative. And quantitative deals with numbers, whereas qualitative deals with non-numbers. And when we talk about non numerical data, then anything else in the digit format. And mostly we talk about text data, but in other cases, we also talk about images, we talk about videos, and we also talk about audios. Although not mostly used, um, videos and the text are the most common. In a few instances, can we have audio data, which we can use. Then the other thing is probably why do we need to do qualitative research? uh, it is the fact that it allows you to dive deeper into the data that you have been able to collect, uh, makes qualitative data very useful, especially when you want to have a comprehensive understanding of an issue outside the surface. That is the numerical pictures, the graphs and the chart that we present, but being able to, especially when you want to find a solution that could be able to work in being able to sort out whichever issue that you might be experiencing. So when that happens, then you want to deal with the qualitative research. And I have already mentioned the key types of qualitative research is text. We have text, and then we also have audio. I've also mentioned video. And again, the way we collect qualitative data is not different from how we collect the other types of data. The only key difference is on the methods that we use. So maybe one of you can state what are some of the most common methods that we use in collecting qualitative data. Anybody want to volunteer? Most common data collection methods? Nobody want to volunteer? Okay, so probably yes at some point. So basically, the most common is the text data that we talk about that we just mentioned, and that is most of the softwares that we have that help us in analysis. They normally are built to carry out text analysis. Because now for videos, you realize what you need is a clip here and there. When with even audios, even an image, you just need, uh, just to describe the photo, and for the audio, you just do a clip of the video or of the audio, then you use that. But now for text is where the bulk of the work is. And we normally do textual analysis. It's a very common thing even in social media. There is a lot of social media or content analysts that we have. And every time you want to conduct an interview, we normally do an audio recording, and out of the audio recording, then you will always do a transcript, and now you will have adequate text data which you will be able to analyze. So I don't want to go so much into this. There are different types of scenarios where you can collect qualitative data. There is a common one which is referred to ethnographic, and this probably is the most common way where we go. You normally, as a researcher, you go down to where people are, and it can when it is cross-sectional, whereby you just talk to them and then you come back. But then in most cases, it's supposed to be a longitudinal research where you just, or you want to document, you want to write notes on what you are observing by uh, just trying to see how people behave in their own environment, to be able to make a decision either on a cultural issues, on environmental issues that probably you want to study. We also have things to do with case studies. Probably you meet people, you talk to people who have had a specific experience, so that you know how to adapt, how to adjust to that particular issue, or to provide knowledge which can help other people might be going through the same experience, to be able to make appropriate adjustments. Of course, this is very common. Many things we know today, we were told by others who could be alive today or who could not be there. And there are many other things probably we have told people, and they might be quoting our names wherever they are, simply because of what we told them, and that we can just refer to oral history. And then, of course, there are several other things. I want to believe some of you here will be well versed to be able to provide us with examples of some of these methods. Yes. So when now we talk about qualitative data analysis, we narrow down our focus to textual data analysis. This is data in which could be stored in form of Word or several other formats. We have PDF, we have rich text formats, and several other formats. But basically, we are talking about data in text form, or you are talking about information which has been collected and typed. You know, sometimes you can be conducting an interview or a focus group discussion, and then you type the notes. And what is normally the best thing to do, probably you will be able to share from your experience, is that we record audios, and then once we have our audio files, then we are able to do a transcription on that. And I think I joined in when Olera was talking about the quality of data depends on how it is collected. And what are some of the things that probably you need when you are collecting data so that you can have qualitative data? And the other question that I probably am going to ask is, how do we ensure that our qualitative data is clean enough then in readiness for analysis? So as I have already mentioned, we get a data through focus group discussions, data through key informant interviews are the most common ones, and then we transcribe the data in readiness for analysis. But once you have done your transcription, you need to do some quality checks for you to determine that my data is now ready and is clean enough for analysis. So I want to pause there and probably answer one or two questions before now I to give you an overview of what we need in readiness to utilize NVivo as a basic software for qualitative analysis. Any question?
Vincent, you were to mention the different types of softwares before you narrow down to NVivo. Are you able to mention those?
Yeah, probably I can ask the team here if you have encountered any data analysis use software used on qualitative data. So NVivo is, I want to believe, is the most common one. Those ones are which you have to pay. Then we have another one by the name Atlas TI. Atlas TI is also another software. Then we have a pocket-friendly software which you don't have to install on your machine, but you just use it online by purchasing it, and it has options of monthly payments, so that you just have an account. Anytime you want to use the software, access your data, you just pay for that particular period of time, access it, use it. Once you are done with it, then you don't have to renew. That one is what we refer to deduce. Probably some of you have come across it. Yeah. So we have others. We have another one called Maxima. That is also Max QDA. That's another software that is also available. So there are some uh, which you must install in your machine for you to use, and there are others which you don't have to install. You only need to have an account, and then you are good to go. Once you have an account online, then you just be able to upload your data. So once you have a basic understanding on how qualitative data is handled, how you handle qualitative data, how you analyze qualitative data. Yeah. Any question? Let me answer one or two questions. Do we have a question here? I've never used Dent software. Thank you so much. So that is how you can see. Yeah, thank you so for sharing the link to the do's. That is good. So that is good. So we have that. So one of the other methods also that we use for qualitative data research is focus group discussion, as has been mentioned. Then we have what we refer to semi-structured interviews, which might have some questions which are more qualitative, others unstructured, and sometimes we can have unstructured. Yeah, sir. So there we probably have this. We have the links there. If you can just click on the links, we can have an overview. So that's probably all of us see how this looks like. Uh, so that once now we deep dive into NVivo, the only good thing is that all of them are going to do texture data analysis. And so it will be something that you will be able to admire, that once you have this once you have the understanding on qualitative research, then you are able to actually be able to work with any of this software. So let's see uh, about the do's. So we have something here you can see about the do's. This is probably one of the easiest, and it's available online. In the course of our in-depth training, we'll be able to build your knowledge on we'll build your knowledge of first of all on how to carry out a successive qualitative data analysis, and then I'll be able to take you through the interfaces of different platforms. We will have this. We'll be able to go through this, and you'll be able to see how you can do this. The Unlike desktop softwares, the ones which are online, like the do's, will be able to allow you to collaborate. Like several people can work on a project at the same time. And of course, as I said earlier, it's not expensive because you can always be able to access, you know, you can always be able to access some of these at a very free, at a very cheap cost, you see now they are, unlike NVivo, they will give you 1 free month. Then again, in the future, you are only able to just purchase for the particular amount that you need. If we just quickly look at their pricing, as you can see, it's not expensive. Yeah. So there's a student rate here of 12 $13. So this is something around 1,500 shillings, which somebody can purchase and use for a full month, just in case you don't want to be changing emails now and again. And probably you can be 2 3 people who are using the same account at different times. So you can just purchase one, and you are able to use different people can log in from different areas, although one at a time, because now this is uh, and again, as you can see, you need to have a valid student ID. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're not a student, then you can always go with this and be able to pay. This is for the individual. But where you want to do the work more than 2 people, you can see both of you can log in, and you are able to have this. So that is basic on that. Let's see how Max QDA appears. Yeah, so this is Max QDA, and all these softwares, they always allow you to have a free trial, and thereafter you are going to pay. It is very, very hard to get one which is absolutely free, but at least they allow you at least 1 month to be able to learn, you know. So interview, these are very specific. Basically, it's about this is what we refer to textual analysis. All this you can carry out your literature review by uploading different sources which you are using in your research, and be able to analyze what the content. You know, when you are preparing your literature review section, you can always use this. Any qualitative research method will allow you. And of course, even just like NVivo, and it can allow you to play around with numbers, basic numbers, which are related to your qualitative research, so that you are able to have one or two graphs which will be able to satisfy. There are people who are always biased towards quantitative, and when you present data which is only in text format, they might not uh, acknowledge that you have conducted a study. So you can always, these systems allows you to be able to have something on qualitative data. Yeah, so you can play around. We also have Atlas TI, and just like NVivo, these are not really pocket friendly. You need to use quite an amount of resources to access this. But then these are also options which are available. Let's see about Atlas. It's yeah, so but basically all of them have the same infrastructure. And one of the things I like about Atlas TI, when you when it comes to outputs, you want to generate a summary of what you have been able to do. It's able to arrange it in different topics, compared to NVivo, where you have to do topic by topic. The output, the summaries that you have done, but which is a bit different from how this works. And again, as you can see, all these data sources are actually used. You can handle all these sources of data using any qualitative softwares. But the common ones that are done normally, all these are in text form. All these are in text form. Then of course we have all these others. But then basically all these you can handle, and most commonly, as I said, we do what we call uh, text data. And at the end of the day, you are able to do all this. This is really for just breaking it down, but this is basically where you can use your qualitative data, and it is very much possible that you have this. Yeah, so any question? Let me see. If you have any question, just put it in the chat. We should be able to. Yeah, so we have these links, so you'll be able to, you can play around with them and be able to see how each of these plays out. Okay. Any query? Do we have any question? Yeah, that is right. So yeah, so as I was saying, the most common NVivo tops on the list. Anytime you search for qualitative analysis methods, NVivo tops on the list. Yeah, NVivo tops on the list. Of course, we have an NVivo and Atlas TI tops on the list. Then we have several others. So probably we will use NVivo because its availability, you can install it on your desktop. You don't have to have access to internet once it's installed. so that it can allow you to build your knowledge on qualitative data analysis. Then probably as we move towards the last session in our in-depth analysis sessions, then we are able now, we'll be able to see on how you do basic things in different platforms, especially those ones which are available on the on the on the internet. Good. Uh-huh. So we'll be able to leave this for now. Okay, welcome. Any question?
My question is, what is Dr. Vincent, thank you for the presentation.
Can we hear any of us saying something?
Yes, I have a question. What is the content of the training you do, and how long does it take, and how much is it?
Weston, say something. Yes. Valeria, you can go for that. You can respond to that.
Oh, yes, Marion, we have the NVivo training, which we usually have. We have part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is we have 4 topics that we cover in part 1, and these topics include, let me just get them. The topics include, 1 minute. Session 1, we talk about introduction to NVivo tools, then how to code qualitative data, so you're taught methods of auto-coding, finding themes and all that. Then how to practice synthesis, because you just don't stop at coding. How do you bring it all together? And then visualizing your qualitative results. So that's part 1. Then we have part 2, which is also 4 sessions. So part 1 is 7,000 Kenya shillings. That in dollars is what? I have to translate, but it's 7,000 Kenya shillings. I'll put the dollars on the chart, and you take it for four sessions. So we usually have these sessions online. They take place in the evenings, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., 2 hours. There is a session, you're given assignments so that you can practice. Then after that, we put you in an alumni group. And in this group, now you can have access to Vincent, whom you can ask questions that you have on NVivo, because sometimes maybe you do the course before you start your analysis. Then when you start your analysis, you might have questions. So we have our WhatsApp group where the alumni can ask any question. That one is not charged, and it can be able to assist you to answer some of the questions. So the next course starts from tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, and members are welcome to share the details of registration on the chat, so that now you can do the NVivo very well. But today we thought we'd just have an orientation so that you can have a sense of what is NVivo. Is this something I'd like to use? Yeah, so let me share the details on the chat now. As Vincent, you can take us quickly through an overview of NVivo. Before now we
Thank you, Aurelia. I have one more question in regard to that. Like, one, when do you advise people to do this training? Is it before collection of data or after collection? What's the best recommendation? And then the second question is, how often do you have new classes? Like now, there's one that starts tomorrow. After how long will you have another one? You know, like if you had a calendar of the trainings and you post it on the WhatsApp, then it's easier to plan.
Yeah, so we usually do monthly. Every month we have an NVivo training. And
Okay.
I would say it's good to have an orientation of the software before you start working on it. So an orientation, just know what is this software, what kind of data will it allow me to do. But then for a real training, I think you'd rather do it as you're about to collect your data. I don't know what Vincent thinks, but I think you have more value when you now have the data with you, but then you need to have had an idea of what it is, because if you've not had an idea, you might make mistakes even when you're collecting that data that you may not be able to apply on NVivo very well. So have an orientation, but then for the ultimate training, I would say do it when you have your data so that you can learn with it. Vincent, what should you say?
Yeah, thank you so much, Oleria. That is really very helpful. So I think you have been able to respond to that. And in regard to the question on when, so it is good to have the knowledge of what is required for me to have good or qualitative data in advance of your research, so that then you know which areas must you focus on, especially on the quality parameters. You might some people can collect data in form of notes. Like you go to an interview, instead of recording, you just scribble short notes, you come and type them. Now, when it comes to analysis, qualitative analysis, then you find it very difficult to be able to make good sense of that. So it's important that you have knowledge, and actually it's good to have a knowledge of some of these softwares, so that you appreciate and in readiness to your study. And since we always provide you with practical data, practical session where we give you data to just manipulate, then it also prepares you. Yes, so we will be able to share current Pegoti. So, okay, yeah, thank you so much. So that is it. Yeah, good. So,
Vincent, let me give you 15 minutes for the overview just because of time, noting that we are quite in the time. So please go ahead with the overview of NVivo. Vincent, are you there? We cannot hear you. You're muted.
I had muted. Sorry for you were not hearing me. I've been talking to myself. Okay, so I was saying, the reason why we choose NVivo is because it allows you 14 days trial. And again, it is the software where all the others benchmark from, and they build it based on what we have in NVivo. NVivo is so rich, we can take not less than 14 days of full-time classroom sessions to be able to cover its ability. And of course, then followed by Atlas TI, and then now the others, the way I've mentioned. So the key features, when you are talking about qualitative data analysis, every software should be able to allow you at a minimum to carry out on on its ability to visualize. You are able to visualize what you are doing. You know, you do so much text analysis, you highlight quotations, you link quotations and the quotes, you know, and at the end of the day, you want to see the summaries of what you have been able to do, and a good software should be able to allow you to do that, and all of them do that. The other very important thing is on comparative analysis. In case you had FGDs, you also have key informant interviews collected from different people, from who maybe different people who differ. It could be in terms of social demographics, geographical, you know, and then other parameters. It will be able to allow you to carry out comparative analysis. And most importantly, it should be able to also handle some form of quantitative analysis, or it should be able to convert, yeah, some of the work that you have been able to do into quantifiable summaries, which you can use to show in form of research. So NVivo, as I have said, gives us a 14 days free access, and you can always access the free trial. And once you have that, all you need to do, create an account. And so probably in readiness for tomorrow, for those of us who will be joining us from tomorrow, you will be able, you can take a screenshot of that, so that you are able to turn, or I'll be able to share the link on the chat. Once on your start trial, create an account, it will be able to download, and you will have a software installed in your machine. And once you have that, then you are ready to be able to organize your data. That is the first thing normally we do. Then once your data has been organized very well, then you analyze it. Once you have, and what do we refer to analysis? Analysis involves reading through a statement and summarizing it by coming up with a topic. And you can have a topic, and then you can have several statements that you think are aligned towards a particular topic. That's what we refer to analysis. And once you have done that, then you should be able to visualize. You should be able to see the different quotations, the different statements that you have selected under different topics. And this data can come from interviews, surveys, all that. At the end of the day, why do we organize? Why do we analyze? Why do we visualize? To be able to describe, evaluate, and interpret a social phenomena that probably which is of your interest. And again, just like another software, we saw they are different. So NVivo, probably one of the best thing that can happen is that it can allow you to actually work in teams, multiple teams at the same time. So once you have been able to install NVivo, and probably another software that is called you to have these basic things. So probably once you have been able to install, then this is some of the quick things you are able to see. And these are very important. I will focus on number 2, number 3, and number 4. You know, that what happens in number 2, for example, you have a different the different functions which are in the menu bar, the different functions, but now it gives you quick access, whereby you are able to move from one area to the other quickly without necessarily going through the detailed menu bar, where we have different icons and different options to drop view. It allows you to quickly move from the main function to the different functions. The main functions, the main items that you need when you are carrying out. Which is number 3, it gives you the number of items that you have. You have like 10 of them. Then in the list view, you are able to see all the 10 FGDs. You know, if you are dealing with the KIIs, then you are able to see them. You are able to see all of them in a list format. And what does 4 does? Once you open any of those items, then if it's a transcript, if it's for an FGD or for a KII, you are actually able to see all the content, the text, the whatever was typed inside there in redness during the coding. So what 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 will you know at the end of the day for you to be able to utilize NVivo very well? We'll be able to show you on how you can create a project, how you can be able to upload your data sources. And once the basic two are done, then you are ready for these others. The core areas of NVivo of qualitative research are written in red. That is the coding and being able to organize demographic data. So I think, Marion, you were asking when is the right time to know, and of course, this actually is always the right time for you to know this, because now you'll be able to know that you are not only collecting demographic data in quantitative analysis, but also in qualitative research. You need to have demographic data because it helps you in doing comparative analysis of the different responses of your people, of your respondents. And the other thing that probably, which is important, which you'll be able to know, is how to write notes. That as you are doing your analysis, the different reflections, the different ideas that your study evokes in your brain, in your mind, you should be able to put those things down in what we refer notes. And in NVivo, we use what we refer to memos. And of course, you should be able to querying your data, asking questions, and being able to visualize. And at the end of the day, you should be able to do a final a final a final a final report. Okay, so allow me to stop there unless we have any question.
There are some questions on the cost. Shitot is asking, after 14 days version, can you continue to use NVivo? And what is the price of acquiring a premium version? Vincent, over to you.
Yes. So it's quite expensive. It is not less than $1,000. Yeah, it's not less than $1,000. And as I was saying, you can always use a student. Once you have a student ID, then you can always get a 1-year license, which is a bit cheaper, but this can only be acquired through your institution. But normally, it is not less than 1,000, not less than $1,000. Yeah.
Vincent, I had a question. So now, if you analyze your data with the 14-day version, and
Yes.
then you come later, maybe your supervisors are querying your analysis, are you able to go back to that one and just go back and see what you need to query, or it's forever closed because it was 14 days?
No, NVivo, you are able to save your data in different in an NVivo format, and once you have saved your data, you can open it you can open it in a different version, or in a different once you can activate it, download the process is the same. You have to download, you know, put a new email, download and install it, and you are still able to open NVivo. You to open your project using NVivo. So it doesn't really close you up. You can always open so long as you have saved your project. And that's one of the things we do, is to ensure that we teach you on how you save your NVivo project. And once you have saved it, then you are able to open it, even if it is many years after the expiry of the NVivo, which the trial version which you had. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? With Vincent permission, we will, because of flow of recording, we will do a pre-recorded session, which you can listen to, because as you know, this is recording, but we can still see how it can be edited. There are moments of silence, of maybe calling out names. So the flow is a bit affected if you're going to listen to it. So we will speak with Vincent to graciously just do a pre-recorded session that has very good flow, not interrupted, so that you can be able to follow and add in all the links of the other softwares, and so that now you can also see if this is something you would like to use, then you can enroll to learn about it a bit more. So that is great. If there are no questions, it's been such a pleasure to have you all, for your patience. Thank you so much for being here and for bearing with first the timing, but also with the internet connectivity issues that we had. We will stop there, and I have tried to put all the details there for the there's no certificate for this one. We only give certificate for when you complete the full version. You know, IDA Africa is a NITA trainer, so we also have to give certificates based on a certain threshold of a course. So this was more like a sensitization session for you now to go think about which software would I like to learn a bit more, and we want to also start training on Deduce and also Max QDA. We hope to start those trainings as well, so that you can have more options for yourself. So for now, today, no certificate. When you take the full course is when now we can confidently say that you can be able to use NVivo. Yeah, okay. So I've put all the registration details on chat. Just go to that link. And for those who are not in Kenya, we use the bank details. They're all there. And yeah, you're most welcome. We usually train every month, the full course. So you're welcome to plan yourself. We will share the dates, as Marion has said, so that at least you can be able to plan. But it's usually towards end month, when maybe most people have some income to spare. So that's when we usually could do. Otherwise, Vincent, do you have any last words?
Yeah, I just want to, I think, yeah, thank you so much, Juderia, for that elaborate, detailed information session. I just want to respond to, I think there is one I haven't responded to. One was concerned about literature review. As I said, the software allows you to speed up actually to speed up your literature review, so that you are able to determine whether your document or your article is actually relevant to be included in your list of references. So part of the session that we'll be conducting from tomorrow, we will also be able to show you how do you do you like track? You are able to compare different articles and see in terms of content whether they are relevant to your area of study or not. Okay. Then I think we have shared with you the link. I think there is one more here. Okay, I think we have responded to all. In case you feel there's a question we have not responded to, you can feel free to reach out through the emails. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we will say good night for now. And I hope you've had a session where you've been triggered to start thinking about your qualitative data quite early. Don't think about it later, because then some of the things you'd have corrected, you not have time to correct. So think about it early enough. Even as we say, even quantitative, always think about the analysis in the design so that you are sorted through. Otherwise, we wish you well. For those who join the course tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. And as we know, for the course, you can also pay in installments until you finish. So you pay, then you attend the course. So if you don't have the full amount, you just pay for that particular session, then pay for the next day, the next session, and all that. So we also have that option as well. So thank you for being here, and we wish you the very best. Take care.
And as we prepare, a quick one, as we prepare for tomorrow, you kindly access the link for NVivo, download and install it in your machine. Thank you.
Where do they access it from, Vincent?
Yeah.
How can they access? I think we usually put it in the training link.
I saw you had already shared a link, right?
This is the link to the registration, which we tell you to download version 12 Pro for Windows and Mac. So we also have details of what you're downloading, so that at least when because we want the session to be practical. As is moving, you're also moving. So please take that.
Yeah, so here, let me share a link right away. The link I'm sharing will take you to the sign up page where you are able. Yeah, so that is the link. If you click on that link, then it takes you to the sign up page where you're able to create an account, and it will guide you on how to start your free trial.
Yes. The cost is, Pasha is asking, how much is the cost? It is Kenya shilling 7,000 or $52 for the part one. So that's the cost, and it is online. So the registration link, which is just up there, has all the details, the how to pay and all that. Let me also add the link that Vincent has shared so that it can be easy to download the web. Yeah. Okay. So I wish you well.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Take care. See you soon. And we usually have other mentorship sessions, other topics. So feel free to plug in. We're here on Author 8. I'm the coordinator of the Author 8 Social Science Journal Club. So I will always share the courses there. I also am in the TCC Africa one. So I'll share there any other mentorship sessions that we are having. So you will not miss out. Okay, I wish you well. Bye-bye and take care.
Bye-bye.